sports where they'll try to get in your head mentally and beat you mental, but, I don't know what that was about. He seen me at the press conference and said, well, we solid. We gotta try to get him. We gotta try to restrict him some type of way, so I don't know. He say he didn't, but we all know he good for trying to put fighters on rehydration clauses.
What's good, YouTube? It's your boy, Blue Blood Sports TV, back at y'all with another one. So what you just heard was undefeated lightweight star on the verge of becoming superstar title contender, Frank the Ghost Martin, making a statement and addressing the WBA, World Boxing Association's, suddenly out the blue, putting a 12-pound rehydration clause on him for his fight June 15th against Superstar 3-Division World Champion Gervonta Tank Davis. And he's stating that he feels like, that being Frank Martin, he feels like Gervonta Tank Davis has something to do with this rehydration clause. And he stated, as you heard him say, we all know he has a history of putting rehydration clauses on fighters. Now, he stated that once he saw me at the press conference and he realized how big I was and how solid I was, suddenly they came out with a rehydration clause. Now, Gervonta Tank Davis stated that he had no idea, no clue about a rehydration clause. Now, WBA President Gilberto Mendoza, they stated that they was looking to put this 12-pound rehydration clause in effect, and that the only reason they pulled back on it, because they pulled back on it, the only reason they pulled back was because the contracts was already signed between both fighters, and they didn't want to interrupt that. Now, here's what's odd. Now, Gervonta Tank Davis may or may not have known about this 12-pound rehydration clause, but it's never been a thing for the WBA. It's always been a thing for the IBF, the International Boxing Federation, with President Mr. Darryl Peebles. They have a next day morning weigh-in before the fight. Okay, so you weigh in on Friday, and then the next day they have a 10-pound rehydration clause where you have to weigh in the morning of the fight, and you can't have gained more than 10 pounds. The WBA, the WBC, and the WBO have not adopted that. But suddenly, out the blue, the WBA decided to implement a 12-pound rehydration clause. And Gervonta Tank Davis stated that he was unaware. Now, obviously, this comes from the fact that Gervonta Tank Davis, the biggest fight of his career, was last April against Ryan Garcia, who was 2 years and 2 fights removed from fighting at 135, and they fought at a catchweight at 136 with a 10-pound rehydration clause. Now, what's odd about that is, when he talked about a rehydration clause for Ryan Garcia, Gervonta Tank Davis, again, he stated that I didn't know nothing about a rehydration clause. When Ryan Garcia brought up the rehydration clause and catch weight, Tank Davis responded and said, I'm not aware of a rehydration clause. I didn't ask for a rehydration clause. That's what he stated. But then in the last press conference for the fight with Ryan Garcia, he was asked about the rehydration clause, and Gervonta Tank Davis stated what? He stated, why wouldn't I put a rehydration clause on him? You see how big he is? So you then were aware of a rehydration clause. So was he aware of this rehydration clause with the WBA and Frank Martin? Extremely possible. Because, like he stated, this dude is huge. Y'all want me to fight dudes that are massive. It's smart of me. It wouldn't be smart of me to not put a rehydration clause. But I think that a possibility is that he saw all the backlash he was getting and he decided to just pull back from it. But the WBA, the confusion is, the weird part is, first of all, it was a 12-pound rehydration clause. That's super weird. Second of all, they never in the history of WBA had a rehydration clause. And third off, they had miscommunication. One representative, which is the president, Gilberto Mendoza, said there's going to be a rehydration clause. And then another representative said they know nothing about a rehydration clause and they're not doing a rehydration clause. So that's what made it very, very skeptical. Nonetheless, there is no rehydration clause. So in a few weeks, we're going to see Frank the Ghost Martin, who is a southpaw, who's slick, who's athletic, who's explosive, who's undefeated, who's young. For the first time, we're going to see Gervonta Tank Davis fight a guy who's 5'8" with a 68-inch arm, southpaw, and African-American that people complain Gervonta Tank Davis doesn't fight. And Gervonta Tank Davis is, I believe on paper, is going to be the toughest test, and he attests to that as well. So let's see how this unfolds and plays out, man. But that's all I got for y'all. Make sure you hit the like button. Drop a comment in the comment section. Let me know what y'all think. Y'all already know what it is. It's your boy Blue Blood Sports TV. Hate, like, comment, and subscribe. You haven't subscribed, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, hit the bell icon to get all the new notifications. Follow me on Instagram at Blue Blood Sports TV, all one word. So all I got for y'all. I'm gone. Peace.